First, we begin with local school districts discussing the impact of Wisconsin's recently approved biennial budget, an overall increase of nearly $1.2 billion and annual boosts to per pupil funding. But how does that break down on the local level? News 19's Crystal Flintrop takes a look at the outlook for a pair of area districts.
The school finance is a complicated system that we have in the state of Wisconsin.
Within the 2023-25 Wisconsin state budget, most Wisconsin school districts are seeing a 3% increase with this additional funding. It equates to a $325 increase per pupil in each fiscal year, which is providing some relief for school districts.
Anytime we can get any additional money per pupil, it's a good thing. We're coming off the last budget that was zero both years, so we're happy to see any type of increase. What does that do to our budget? For GET, it puts us at a 3% increase for our revenue from the state.
And for the Sparta School District, Superintendent Sam Russ says they were only planning on $100 per pupil, and the added funds are being put to good use.
Our Board of Education gave a very generous 5.75% base wage increase to our certified staff and a 5.75% increase to the classified administration and middle management. It does give us a little bit more money than what we were planning on.
Additionally, the low revenue ceiling was raised from $10,000 to $11,000 per pupil, which allows districts to raise their spending without going to referendum. But it comes with the stipulation that if an operating referendum has failed in a district, the state law would freeze that district's low revenue adjustment for 3 years.
We failed one very closely in April of 2022, so we're not able to get to that $11,000 floor until the next 3 years. So that is a disappointing that the legislator didn't really necessarily tackle that. However, we are still advocating for that, and hopefully something will get moving in the legislature in the near future.
Within the GET school district, Bromerick says they were hopeful for up to a 50% increase for special education funding. He says they were disappointed that it was only a 3% increase.
We only got 3% increase for schools on the special ed funding. That's the biggest piece. Rural districts get to be a lot more difficult because we have more specialized staff that we don't get to share with other places. We have a smaller pot to get educators from.
Both say that within their respective school districts, they will continue focusing on the next 2 years and do the best with the resources they have. I'm Crystal Flintrop, News 19.
The 2023-25 biennial budget's funding for public education is more than 10 times larger than the last budget and is the highest level of state support for school districts since the calculation was initiated in fiscal year 1996-97.